Thank you very much, Sajid. It was very nice listening to the previous two speakers. But before I get on with my arguments, I would like to just spend 2 minutes on where India stands today. Now, all of us are aware that India today is the fifth largest economy in the world. And it's competing very closely with Germany now to become the fourth largest economy. What's happening in India today is unprecedented. There is no area in which India is not coming next to the world leaders. Today, it has just reached the third position in the world after America and China by beating Japan to be the third largest automobile in the world. You see at any business, and it's booming, the kind of hotels, no rooms are available, airlines, no seats are available. The industries, their profits are going up. India is becoming independent. They are now going to start the manufacturing of passenger planes. They are already started making submarines. And in terms of their steel production, in terms of the pharmaceuticals, they are becoming number one in the world. Look at the kind of arrangements India did at the time of COVID, when the whole world was fighting for the medicines, and some American companies who were charging at the rate of about $300 per dose. India gave a free dose of COVID to about 200 crores people. I mean, like it's about 2,000 million people. Now, this is unprecedented with the kind of trains which we are now manufacturing in India. And to top it all, India has become the net exporter of arms, where it was earlier importing. Now it is exporting to about 30-35 countries. And even in terms of oil, after India had a pact with Russia, today with its very large refining capacity, even I understand that even Germany is buying a part of their petrol requirements from India. Now, where India and Europe stand, we have a very, very old and very profitable relationship. European companies have been, irrespective of what Mr. Lart mentioned about the falling consumer purchases in Europe, what stands still is that in terms of technology, a number of products are in Europe, number of companies in Europe are still far better and among the best in the world. Even in the case of automobiles, they are coming to India. Of course, they are opening shop here, but the original technology is coming from some of the big names from Europe only. But the problem which is happening in Europe is that with the war, it's becoming into a very difficult and sensitive kind of situation. I am not going to comment on whether how long the war will continue. But one thing is very sure, that the kind of deep wounds it has made into the European economy, it is not going to be sorted out for very early, in the future. So, and now today, Europe, there are a few states in Europe like Germany, France, Italy, maybe a couple of more after Britain has gone out, who are into a good position in terms of their finances. But a large number of states which were mainly dependent on tourism or on the sale of their goods, they are suffering. And what's happening now is that the states which are funding the poor ones in Europe, they are also slowly started realizing that they cannot go about it for long with the kind of pressure which they have to face by accepting refugees, first from Syria and now from Ukraine. The economies of war, even the best of economies or best of countries in Europe, they have started feeling the heat. And a solution has to be found out. Now, I think the solution is very clear, and it is to have a stronger relationship between India and Europe. To some extent, we are between India and Europe, there are quite many similarities. Like in India also, the state government has a independence about certain laws, but the center itself also has control of the major law-making machinery. Similarly, in EU, there are, there is a difference between what EU does as a centralized representative and what the different states are doing. Now, what's happening is that states under EU have uh, uh, many responsibilities which they manage independently. But on the same hand, EU has certain areas in which they have the monopoly kind of situation or they have the upper hand, like the control of trade matters, like uh, no other state can, change the commercial aspects of the trade, which in a total policy measure EU has drafted. There is control of short-term visa matters, currency. I mean, like a lot of areas are there. And similarly in India, the Indian embassies which are there into different countries of Europe, they are mainly involved into dealing with the local matters and increasing. Hello. Yeah. The Indian embassies in these countries are more involved into increasing trade between their respective countries with India and sorting out the inter-sea problems. I think it is in this context that having a separate embassy, Indian embassy meant for European Union, is probably a very good idea, because then in that case we will start having specialized bureaucrats, like somebody mentioned a dedicated desk at New Delhi of to be managed by a level of the joint secretary. Now, this kind of interaction between an independent Indian embassy and, like you have, EU also has the one in New Delhi. This kind of interaction will increase the trade possibilities between India and EU. It will smoothen the process. It will increase the tourism. There would be a lot of issues which can be sorted out between the two countries by talking to European Union as a representative of the state countries of Europe. And I think it will also give a very good chance to the Indian side, who will also have to be making it faster in terms of agreements, in terms of their negotiation with the many laws which EU is engaged in. And this will increase a lot of trade. I am finding now that a number of European companies are setting up base in India. And I know of at least 10, 12 companies who shifted their base from Germany, Belgium, Italy, and they started providing the same goods to their existing buyers in Europe, besides exporting to the other parts of the world, because the cost of labor and the cost of electricity, sorry, not the electricity, cost of labor was much cheaper in India, and it was much easier to produce with a in-house market of worth about millions and billions of dollars. So the whole world is coming here, and it's right time when I think these kind of interactions should take place. And ultimately, I think this idea, whosoever has floated it, is really a good one, and it should be worked upon very fast so that both the continents are benefited to a large extent. Thank you so much.